Do you know the difference between successful people and those who only dream of success? It's not talent, it's not luck, it's not even intelligence. It's one simple word: consistency. But let's be honest, consistency is the hardest thing to practice because our mind loves comfort, our body loves excuses, and our heart loves shortcuts. And yet, consistency is the bridge that takes us from where we are to where we want to be. Let me ask you something. How many of you have felt extremely motivated after listening to a great speech, reading an inspiring book, or watching a motivational video? You feel like you can conquer the world, right? But how long does that feeling last? 1 day, 2 days. By the third day, the energy drops and we're back to our old habits. Why? Because motivation is like bathing. It doesn't last. That's why we need it daily. But here's the problem. We don't always get motivation daily. What we need is not more motivation. We need more discipline. Think about it. Does a farmer wait for motivation to wake up in the morning and water his fields? If he waits, his crops will die. Does a mother wait for motivation to feed her child? If she waits, the child will starve. Life's important things are never done because of motivation. They are done because of discipline. The ability to do what needs to be done, even when you don't feel like doing it. Motivation is like a spark. It can light the fire in you. But discipline is the wood that keeps the fire burning. Without discipline, motivation dies out. Imagine if you only brushed your teeth on the days you felt motivated. You'd be socially very distant. Even before social distancing was invented. So audience laughs. You don't brush your teeth because you're motivated. You do it because it's discipline. It's a habit. And here lies the secret of success. Don't depend on how you feel. Depend on what you commit to. When your alarm rings at 5 a.m., you will not feel motivated. But discipline will tell you, get up anyway. When you're too tired to exercise, motivation will not come to rescue you, but discipline will whisper, do it anyway. Motivation is an emotion, discipline is a decision. Motivation may start the race, but discipline finishes it. My friends, if you wait to feel motivated every single day, you'll live a life of inconsistency. But if you force yourself to be disciplined, even when you don't feel like it, you'll live a life of progress. And that is the beauty of consistency. It's not about what you feel, it's about what you choose. We all dream of big results, don't we? We want success, happiness, growth, health, wealth, respect. But let me tell you something very important. Success is not hidden in the big things we do once in a while. It is hidden in the small things we do every single day. The world is fascinated with big, glamorous moments. Winning a trophy, getting a promotion, achieving fame. But those moments are just the fruit. What nobody sees are the tiny, invisible, daily steps that watered that tree until it bore fruit. Let's take an example. If you go to the gym for 5 hours in a single day, will you suddenly get fit? No. But if you go for 30 minutes every day without fail, then slowly and steadily you'll see change. The secret is not intensity, the secret is consistency. Even a drop of water, when it keeps falling on a stone, can carve a hole through it. That's the power of small actions done consistently. Many of us start something with great excitement. On day one, we're full of energy, we buy the best shoes, the best notebook, the best plan. But what happens by day 10? The shoes are lying in the corner, the notebook is lost under a pile of clothes, and the plan is forgotten. Why? Because we think success comes from doing something massive once in a while. But the truth is, success is the reward for showing up every day, even in the smallest way. Tiny steps are powerful because they are doable. You may not be able to run 10 kilometers today, but you can walk for 15 minutes. You may not be able to read an entire book today, but you can read 5 pages. You may not be able to save $1 million today, but you can save 10 rupees. The magic is not in doing it all at once. The magic is in doing it regularly. The problem with us is that we underestimate small progress. We say, what difference will 10 minutes make? But my friends, 10 minutes daily for 1 year is 60 hours. Imagine what you could achieve in 60 hours of focused practice. The little you do every day compounds into something extraordinary. Just like how drops of water fill a bucket, tiny steps every day fill your life with success. So don't wait for the perfect day when you can do it all in one go. That day will never come. Start small, start now, and stay consistent. Because in the end, the people who achieve greatness are not the ones who did something massive once in a while. They are the ones who took tiny steps every single day without fail. Have you noticed how smart our mind is when it comes to giving excuses? It's a genius lawyer inside our head, always defending us. I'm too tired today. It's too hot outside. I'll start from Monday. Oh, it's raining. I can't go. The list never ends. Excuses are very creative, but they are also very destructive. The truth is, excuses may comfort us for a moment, but they chain us to the same place forever. They make us feel safe, but they steal our progress. Imagine a student who has to study for exams. The book is right in front of him. But suddenly, the room feels too hot. He adjusts the fan. Then he feels hungry. He goes to the kitchen. Then he feels sleepy. He takes a nap. When he wakes up, he says, "Oh, now it's too late. I'll start tomorrow." Does this sound familiar? We smile, but this is exactly how we live our lives. We allow our excuses to win, and then we wonder why nothing changes. Let me tell you something powerful. Your excuses will always sound convincing, but they will never change your reality. Comfort zones feel good, but they kill growth. Think of a seed. It must break the shell to grow. If it says, "Oh, I'm safe in here, I don't want to break out," it will never become a tree. Similarly, when you live inside the shell of excuses, you never grow into the person you're meant to be. Excuses are also very contagious. If you live with people who constantly make excuses, soon you'll also start making them. That's why it's important to be around people who remind you of your goals, not your reasons for avoiding them. Because every excuse you accept is a brick in the wall that stands between you and your dreams. And that wall gets taller and stronger every time you say, "Not today." Here's the irony. Excuses feel like freedom in the moment, but they actually trap you in the same life. Discipline feels like a prison in the moment, but it sets you free in the future. Excuses whisper comfort today, but scream regret tomorrow. That's why, my friends, we must learn to remove them. Don't negotiate with your excuses. Don't argue with them. Don't entertain them. Just act. Because the moment you act, the excuse loses its power. Next time your mind says, "I'll do it tomorrow," tell yourself, "No, I'll do it now." When your body says, "I'm too tired," remind yourself, tiredness is temporary, but regret is permanent. When your heart says, "It's too hard," reply, "Yes, but so is staying the same." Slowly, you'll train yourself to act without delay. And once you stop listening to your excuses, you'll start listening to your potential. Have you ever noticed how much of our life is shaped not by what we do once, but by what we do repeatedly? You brush your teeth daily, not once a year. You eat daily, not once a month. You sleep daily, not once in a while. Because what we repeat becomes who we are. In the same way, when it comes to success, it's not about one brilliant effort, one big day, one lucky break. It's about the routine you live by every single day. Routine is not boring, routine is powerful. A farmer doesn't water his crop just once and expect fruits. He waters daily. An athlete doesn't train one day and then show up at the Olympics. He trains daily. A musician doesn't practice once in a while and expect to perform beautifully on stage. She practices daily. Success is hidden inside routines, not random actions. The problem is, our mind chases the thrill of novelty, but ignores the quiet strength of repetition. Some people say, "Oh, I don't like routine. I want freedom." But my friends, the truth is, discipline is freedom. Routine is freedom. Think about it. When you have a routine of saving money, you have the freedom to live without debt. When you have a routine of eating healthy, you have the freedom to enjoy good health. When you have a routine of working hard, you have the freedom to choose opportunities. Without routine, we don't get freedom, we get chaos. And here's the interesting part: what you repeat daily, whether good or bad, slowly becomes your identity. If you repeat laziness every day, you don't just feel lazy, you become a lazy person. If you repeat procrastination daily, you don't just delay tasks, you become a procrastinator. But if you repeat discipline daily, you don't just do disciplined things, you become a disciplined person. Identity is built on habits, and habits are built on routines. Look at the great personalities of the world: scientists, leaders, artists, spiritual teachers. What set them apart was not just talent, it was the routine they followed. Einstein read daily, Gandhi prayed daily, Beethoven composed daily, Steve Jobs worked on his vision daily. Consistency of routine created their excellence. If they only worked when they felt like it, their names would not be remembered today. We must stop underestimating the power of daily repetition. Just like a drop of water shapes a stone, your routine shapes your destiny. One workout doesn't make you fit. One prayer doesn't make you spiritual. One act of kindness doesn't make you compassionate. But daily workouts make you strong. Daily prayer makes you centered. Daily kindness makes you loving. It's the little things you repeat that write the story of your life. So ask yourself, what is the routine I live by? Because your future is hidden inside your daily schedule. Don't wait for miracles. Create a routine. Don't wait for luck. Trust repetition. Don't wait for motivation. Trust habit. Because when your routine is strong, your results are inevitable. One of the biggest misunderstandings people have about success is that it always feels exciting. We think if we're on the right path, we'll feel inspired every day, thrilled every morning, passionate every moment. But my friends, the truth is far from it. Real success is not glamorous every day. It's often repetitive, sometimes dull, and many times even boring. And that's exactly why most people quit. They mistake boredom for failure, when in reality, boredom is proof that you are doing something consistently. Think about it. If you go to the gym every day, after a few weeks the novelty fades. The music is the same, the exercises are the same, the sweat feels the same. You may say to yourself, "I'm bored, maybe this isn't working." But actually, that boredom is a sign that you are building a habit. That boredom is your brain resisting change because it wants variety, not progress. Growth doesn't always feel exciting, sometimes it feels like routine work. And that's where people drop out. They want constant excitement. But success requires constant repetition. Let me give you a simple example. A student learning the piano must play the same scale again and again hundreds of times. At first, it's fun, but soon it feels boring. And that's the test. If the student quits at boredom, he will never reach mastery. But if he embraces the boredom and keeps playing, his fingers will eventually move effortlessly, and the music will flow beautifully. Boredom is not your enemy, it is the doorway to mastery. The same applies to life, in relationships, in work, in health. It's not always fireworks and excitement. A strong marriage is not built on constant thrills, but on consistent small acts of love that sometimes feel ordinary. A successful career is not built on one exciting project, but on daily discipline that sometimes feels repetitive. Even spiritual practice, prayer, meditation, reflection can feel monotonous. But that monotony is what purifies the mind and builds inner strength. Behind every extraordinary result is an ordinary routine repeated with patience. Here's the irony. People chase excitement and quit when they get bored. But those who embrace boredom and stay consistent eventually experience the deepest excitement of all: success, growth, and fulfillment. You see, excitement gives temporary pleasure, but consistency through boredom gives permanent progress. One is like sugar, sweet but short-lived. The other is like healthy food, sometimes bland, but it nourishes you for life. So the next time you feel bored, don't say, "This is useless." Say instead, "This is where most people quit, but I won't." When you repeat something daily, even when it feels dull, you are planting seeds of greatness. The soil may look dry today, but underneath, the roots are growing strong. Boredom is not the end, it's actually the beginning of transformation. Remember, these champions are not made on the days of excitement. They are made on the days of boredom, when they showed up anyway. Great musicians, great athletes, great leaders, they all endured long stretches of repetitive practice that others couldn't bear. And that's why they stand out. Success is not about escaping boredom. It's about embracing it and using it as a stepping stone toward mastery. Have you noticed that whenever we make promises to ourselves, we break them so easily? From tomorrow, I'll wake up early. The alarm rings, we hit snooze. From tomorrow, I'll stop eating junk food. The chips packet whispers, we say yes. From tomorrow, I'll study 2 hours daily. Netflix calls our name and the books stay closed. Why does this happen? Because when the only person who knows your commitment is you, it's too easy to cheat yourself. Nobody is watching, nobody is asking, and nobody will know if you break your word. That's where accountability comes in. Accountability is the invisible force that keeps us consistent when our inner strength is weak. Think about a student who goes to the library with friends. If he studies alone, he may get distracted and start scrolling on his phone. But when he sees his friend sitting across the table, focused on his book, he feels a silent pressure to stay on track. That's the magic of accountability. It doesn't let you slip quietly into excuses. It's like a mirror that reflects your commitment back at you. Accountability partners can be friends, mentors, colleagues, even family members. They are the people you give the right to remind you of your goals. And sometimes, just the thought of having to explain to them why you didn't do what you said is enough to keep you consistent. It's not about fear, it's about responsibility. When we know someone else is invested in our growth, we take our promises more seriously. This is why great athletes have coaches. Not because they don't know how to train, but because they need accountability. Even world champions who know every drill, every exercise, still need someone watching, guiding, and pushing them. Because when left alone, even the strongest minds can get lazy. The coach ensures consistency, and consistency builds champions. In our personal lives too, accountability can transform us. If you want to build the habit of walking every morning, find a friend to walk with. On the days you don't feel like it, you'll still show up because you don't want to let your friend down. If you want to quit a bad habit, share your intention with someone you trust. When you're tempted, the thought of disappointing them will give you strength to resist. When you have accountability, you are no longer fighting your battles alone. Some people say, "But I don't like others interfering in my life." And that's understandable. But accountability is not interference. It is support. It is not someone controlling you. It is someone reminding you of the person you want to be. When we choose the right accountability partners, they don't drag us down, they lift us up. They don't criticize us, they encourage us. They don't judge us, they believe in us more than we believe in ourselves. Of course, accountability is not only about having others check on us, it's also about holding ourselves accountable. You can create systems like journaling, habit trackers, or even setting reminders that make you answer to yourself. The question is, what system do you have in place that won't allow you to quietly abandon your goals? Because without accountability, even the best intentions fade away. But with accountability, even the weakest moments can be overcome. So remember this: alone we can start, but together we can sustain. Alone we can dream, but together we can discipline. When you surround yourself with the right people and systems, they become your safety net. On the days you stumble, they catch you. On the days you want to give up, they remind you why you started. And slowly, you become consistent not just because of your willpower, but because of the power of accountability. One of the greatest secrets of life, my friends, is this: learning to sacrifice what you want now for what you want most. It's called delayed gratification. The ability to wait. The strength to say no to small pleasures today so you can enjoy great rewards tomorrow. The tragedy is that most people do the opposite. They give in to comfort now, and then they suffer discomfort later. But those who delay comfort now enjoy true comfort later. It is a paradox. The pain of discipline today becomes the joy of freedom tomorrow. Let me share a famous experiment. Years ago, researchers gave children a marshmallow. They told the child, "You can eat this one marshmallow now, or if you wait for a little while, you'll get 2 marshmallows." Some kids couldn't resist. They ate the marshmallow immediately. Others distracted themselves, waited patiently, and received 2. The researchers followed these children as they grew up. And do you know what they found? The children who could delay gratification went on to become more successful in life. They had better careers, healthier relationships, stronger finances. Why? Because life is nothing but a series of marshmallow tests. Every day, you are faced with a choice: 1 marshmallow now or 2 later. When you choose to watch Netflix instead of working on your project, you're eating the marshmallow now. When you choose junk food instead of cooking a healthy meal, you're eating the marshmallow now. When you choose to scroll on your phone instead of studying, you're eating the marshmallow now. These little choices feel small in the moment, but over time they decide your destiny. The successful are not more talented, they are simply better at waiting. They understand that the reward of patience is far greater than the pleasure of immediacy. Look at a farmer. He sows the seeds and waits for months before harvest. He cannot say, "I want fruits tomorrow." Nature doesn't work that way. Growth takes time. A student who studies every day is delaying gratification sacrificing play for knowledge. Years later, that knowledge brings him success. A musician who practices scales daily is delaying gratification, sacrificing free time for skill. Later, that skill fills stadiums. In every field, those who rise are the ones who mastered the art of waiting. The problem is, we live in an instant world. Instant noodles, instant messages, instant likes, instant delivery. We are being trained to expect everything quickly. But real success is never instant. You can't microwave greatness. You can't download wisdom. You can't fast forward growth. You have to plant, water, and wait. And that waiting requires faith. Faith that your hard work will pay off. Faith that your patience will bear fruit. Faith that your sacrifice today will create abundance tomorrow. But here's the irony. People think delaying gratification is suffering. Oh, I have to give up this comfort. But in reality, it is not suffering, it is investing. The moment passes quickly, but the reward lasts forever. On the other hand, when you give in to instant gratification, the pleasure passes quickly, but the regret lasts forever. One path gives you temporary pain, lasting joy. The other gives you temporary joy, lasting pain. Which one do you choose? So the next time you're tempted, ask yourself, do I want one marshmallow now or two later? Ask yourself, is this action helping my future self or just satisfying my present self? And remember, success is not built on what feels good now, but on what will feel great later. Discipline is hard. Patience is hard, waiting is hard, but regret is harder. Choose wisely. Because the strength to delay gratification is the strength that separates dreamers from doers and wishers from achievers. Have you ever noticed that when we work hard but don't see immediate results, we start to feel discouraged? We say, what's the point? I've been exercising for 2 weeks, but I don't see abs. Or, I've been studying for a month, but I still forget things. Or, I've been saving money for a year, but it's still such a small amount. Do you know why we feel this way? Because we don't track our progress. Our mind is very quick to forget how far we've come. It only focuses on how far we still have to go. And when we don't measure our growth, we assume there is none. That's why tracking progress is so important. It reminds us that every small effort is adding up, even if we don't see the final picture yet. Think of it like this. Imagine you are climbing a mountain. You keep going higher and higher, but if you never stop to look back, you'll only see how much more is left. You'll feel tired, overwhelmed, maybe even hopeless. But the moment you pause, turn around, and look at the valley below, you realize, whoa, I've already come so far. That view gives you the strength to keep climbing. Tracking progress in life is the same. It's turning back to see how far you've already traveled on your journey. Great athletes track their performance. They don't just train blindly. They record their timings, their lifts, their distance. Why? Because when the mind says, you're not improving, the numbers say, yes, you are. Writers track the number of words they write. Students track the number of chapters they've studied. Businesses track sales, growth, and performance. Even spiritual practitioners track their meditation or prayers. Because when you measure, you stay motivated. What gets measured gets managed, and what gets managed grows. Let me share a simple example. Suppose someone wants to lose weight. If he never checks his weight or records his meals, he'll always feel stuck. But if he tracks, he might notice, in 1 month I've lost 2 kilos. Now 2 kilos may not sound dramatic, but it's proof of progress. That proof fuels confidence. Confidence fuels consistency. And consistency fuels success. Without tracking, we feel blind. With tracking, we see clearly, and when we see clearly, we keep moving. Tracking is also powerful because it shows patterns. Maybe you realize you study better in the morning than at night, or you run faster when you sleep well, or you save more when you use cash instead of cards.